The complaint alleges that William produced an AK-style pistol and forced one of his victims to sign the release from the recording contract at gunpoint, which does not make that contract legal. The remaining conspirators displayed firearms and robbed the other victims of Rolex watches, jewelry, cash, and other high-value items. You don't think they're going to go to the fucking cops?
Man, we ain't got to fake an image no more. We did what these niggas wish they can do. We ain't got to keep doing it. That's why I say these niggas play the game till they lose.
If you're a young black male, you know, with all the fucking trials and tribulations that you have against you, you don't need to compound it by being a fucking dumb shit. You can do whatever you want to do. You can be whoever you want to be. You don't have to have the government on your fucking back. There's a way out of it. Listen to this guy. Listen to Woody.
You got to know when to get out of it, bro. You got to know when to say, okay, this is it. Because they all love you. They gas you on. And when they're fucking putting fucking handcuffs on you, and you come to the realization that this shit is real, now y'all wonder why Woody walk the way he walk and talk the way he talk. Nigga, the feds are real. That cemetery with all them bodies in there is real. This ain't Grand Theft Auto. This ain't no fucking TV show. This our real lives. And y'all wonder why these white people don't want to see us with no money. Because we do stupid shit with it.
I've never heard a more truer statement. Listen, if you're a young, up-and-coming gangsta, don't be. Just be young and up-and-coming. Listen to this guy. He's 100% on the mark.
You had no business doing that. You folks came out here and led by example. God bless the rest of y'all.
Fucking Woody. I like Woody. We should try to get Woody on a podcast. Being a street fella got to be so ass. Get kidnapped and robbed, and you're supposed to just handle it yourself by throwing your life away, too, or a motherfucker's going to clown you. Couldn't have said it better myself. All right. Is it last one? This is from Buddha. Hi, Buddha. You got to abort mission when you walk in and see a white cameraman, right? I guess you do. Could be somebody on 60 Minutes. White dude. See you later.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Back to our roots. Back to drill. Drill, baby, drill, right? I'm your board-certified criminal defense lawyer, and we're going to react to Pooh Shiesty and the shystiness that he's got himself into his shiesty ass. We're not supposed to swear in the first, 5 minutes, but what the hell? Before we get to all the crap that we can really just realize how brilliant some people are in this Pooh Shiesty reaction, this episode is brought to you by AskALawyer.com. AskALawyer.com is a very friendly way for you to get legal advice for a pittance, $49. And here's the thing, there's this craze right now with AI, right? You can't use AI for everything. It might be a good start, but you need a living, breathing human being to give you guidance. I think I've told this before. I had a prosecutor tell me that a defense lawyer used AI to write a brief for him, and it cited cases that weren't there. And we're going to do a reaction to this down the line. But remember, there was a woman, I can't remember where it was, but she was arrested based on AI information that got it wrong. Well, what would you rather have? AI that you don't know if it's right or wrong? Or if you go to a living, breathing human being who's got a law degree and can have a real conversation with somebody, not AI. I don't trust AI yet. I just don't. Ask a Lawyer is a great way for you to get on your way. They're not going to represent you in court, but they can give you legal guidance, and you figure out if you have an issue with your landlord. Or we had a viewer that had an elder law problem and got them to where they needed to go. That's what you need. That's the care that's embedded in AskALawyer.com. A living, breathing human being lawyer that can give you sound legal advice for just $49. You can't beat it. And they do have an AI component, but guess what? That's just trained on the laws. That's going to tell you what the law is. It's on all 50 states, but it's not going to give you fake information. Fake news. You're not going to get fake news from askalawyer.com. So don't use AI when you're trying to figure out your problems. Use askalawyer.com, real living, breathing human being. Same people that brought you eForm and eSign. I use those all the time. Good folks. Go to askalawyer.com. Okay. All right. So Pooh Shiesty, born Lontrell Donnell Williams, just got out in October 2025, not even 6 months ago. Guess what? Back in Huskow. Back on see, what happens is you go do your time. You get discounts for good behavior and maybe even get time off for drug and alcohol program, to call it DAP program. And then you don't do your full 5 years or 63 months in his case. You do probably about 2/3 of it or half of that. You have to do 85% of your time in federal court, but you can get a year off for doing the DAP program, and you can get other time off for halfway house and work release, blah, blah, blah. Well, he gets out. And then you're on supervised release. And when you're on supervised release, you have a probation officer. You have restrictions. You're not free to roam. You're not some wild horse who can go out on the prairie and just go, do whatever you want to other wild horses. No, you are a ward of the state. You still have to be where you're supposed to be. Otherwise, they can put you back in prison. Period. Hard stop. End of story. Anyway, you do drug testing and all that kind of stuff. So he gets out, and he's flexing his paperwork on stream, saying, look at how cool I am. I'm no fool. But then you wind up dropping out of high school, all unemployed. Now, it's just ridiculous. So he posted his paperwork proving that he wasn't a snitch. But 2 hours later, he goes and robs Gucci Mane. he threatens him with a gun. Anyway, so let's just watch. Pooh Shiesty this is him showing his paperwork that he as co-defendant stayed solid while facing 60 plus years in prison. So now I want to warn you. Now, I don't use the N-word. I use the word fellas, okay? So let's just supplant the word fellas for the word he uses. He uses that word like a nervous tick. And notice he just repeats himself and he's speaking really fast. But he's just saying the same shit over again. Let's see what he has to say.
Supersede indictment, man. This the indictment out the original indictment. So we got indicted twice, nigga. So they smacked us with more charges, nigga. Thinking that shit would break us or make us, nigga. Conspiracy to possess firearms in front of the drug trafficking, violent crimes, nigga. 3 other sided niggas you will ever see, nigga. Name on a piece of paperwork, nigga. Bankroll, D-roll, nigga. These niggas solid, nigga. We kept it G. We traumatized about this shit, my nigga. For real, nigga. I really went through it, nigga. You nigga better watch out.
It's a good thing we're not doing a drinking game where you have to drink every time he says the N-word.
Y'all mouth when y'all say a nigga name, cuz I was facing 20 plus or 20 plus another 20 plus life, nigga. Never told it, never.
If you're facing all this time and you only get 63 months, how does that prove you're not a snitch?
Folding, nigga. All my shit add up, nigga. Yeah, nigga, every page add up. You see 1 through 10 on anything. Stop playing with a nigga name, nigga made, nigga, for real. You nigga don't know the half of this shit or what's really going on, nigga. Yeah, my paperwork 4,000 pages long. I go all day with this shit.
And I only got 63 months. How does that prove you're not a snitch? In fact, I think it kind of implies that you're a snitch.
You niggas don't know what really going on. You know what you see on the internet, you content creating ass niggas.
Content creating ass fellas. Is he talking about me? I ain't no fella. So that's the first one. So now here's an article from the FBI where they execute a search warrant at the home linked to Pooh Shiesty. Pooh Shiesty. It just sounds kind of nasty, doesn't it? Sounds like you shiestied all over your poo. Or you pooed all over your shiesty. Federal agents were seen at his residence, or at a residence linked to the family of Pooh Shiesty, early Wednesday morning as part of an ongoing investigation. The FBI confirmed that agents were carrying out a court-approved search and arrest warrant at the property, according to Fox 13 in Memphis. Authorities did not provide additional details about the nature of the investigation or who was being targeted. Local media crews arrived at the scene around 6 a.m. where agents were observed entering and exiting the home, and over the course of the operation, taking this and that. And probably electronics and firearms, I would hope. Or not hope, but I'm sure that's what they were looking for. At this time, officials not said whether Pooh Shiesty himself is connected to the warrant or if another individual is focused on the investigation. Property records reviewed by local authorities show the residence is listed under the name of Lontrell Williams. Who's that? That's Pooh Shiesty. A name shared by both Pooh Shiesty and his father. His father doesn't have a rap name, I don't think. Linking the address directly to the rapper's family. So the additional reports indicate the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, TBI, not to be confused with traumatic brain injury, was also present along federal agents during the search. No arrests have been confirmed. No charges have been announced. This is early on in the process here. He was released in October. So Shiesty was released in October 2025. So this just happened not that long ago. And he was serving time on a firearms conspiracy conviction tied to the 2020 incident in Florida. Following his release, he was placed on home confinement with supervised release timeline extending into 2026. Since returning home, the Memphis rapper has been rebuilding momentum in his career and trying to signal a comeback. 9 men, including the shyster, were all federally charged with kidnapping at a music studio in Dallas. You just get out of prison and you don't give a shit. You just don't care. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go out and smoke some weed and go fucking rob some shit, and you're just gonna handle your shit, right? I think one of the things is that you wear an ankle monitor when you're out on supervised release at times, depending upon the nature of your case and who you are. So the PO knows where you are at all times. So stupid. This week, 9 individuals, including well-known musical artists, were federally charged with kidnapping and robbing at gunpoint numerous victims at a music. So in other words, what happened was Pooh Shiesty had a meeting scheduled with Gucci Mane. He's on Gucci Mane's label, right? And he wants to get out of the contract. Well, Gucci Mane said, no, I'm not going to let you out of your contract. It's a contract is a contract. So they robbed him. They made him sign a new contract, which is not legal, by the way. And then they also they robbed him and his cameraman of all their jewelry. So 8 of the 9 were arrested yesterday in Dallas, Texas, and Memphis, Tennessee. They charged the defendants, including Lontrell Williams, Pooh Shiesty, his father, Lontrell Williams Sr., Rodney Wright, a.k.a. Big 30, Cadrius Waters, Terrence Rogers, Demarion Gibson, DeMarcus Glover, Corday Johnson, and Darian McDaniel. So it is alleged that 9 defendants traveled to Texas to kidnap and rob victims who they thought were coming into town for a business meeting. So they brought him in here. This is crazy. Instead of discussing business in a civil matter, the defendants resorted to violence and intimidation to achieve their purported business objectives. For anyone contemplating using violence and intimidation as a business practice, I'm here to tell you, this is from the government, I'm here to tell you that it will be vigorously investigated and prosecuted in the Northern District of Texas. I can tell you this, the Northern District of Texas is a bad district. It's a very conservative district, and the judges don't give a shit. I remember I went to a sentencing seminar in, where was that? Oh, it was in Palm Beach. And not Palm Springs. And I met this Texas judge, and he was in the Northern District of Texas. I'm not going to tell you his name, but and at the same time, this outlaw biker task force was having their convention at the same hotel. And guess the two clashed. And this is an outlaw biker task force. This is law enforcement. But they don't look like law enforcement. I can tell you that. Anyway, and in the Western District of Tennessee employs a whole team concept with federal, state, and local partners to aggressively pursue all violent criminals who dare to commit crime or seek safe haven within our jurisdiction. Here, agents from the FBI's Safe Streets Task Force strongly supported the task force officers from the Memphis Police Department, Shelby County Sheriff's Office. I tried one of these gang cases last May, and they played a full whole video in our trial. They don't give a shit, and it was all about a drug area where these guys were. It was a RICO case, and remember that this was sweeping the country. It was the soup du jour at the time. I think they've taken like 45 guys off the street and probably another 45, so almost 100 people that they've convicted on these things. Some were already serving time on other stuff. The complaint alleges that William produced an AK-style pistol and forced one of his victims to sign the release from the recording contract at gunpoint, which does not make that contract legal. The remaining conspirators displayed firearms and robbed the other victims of Rolex watches, jewelry, cash, and other high-value items. You don't think they're going to go to the fucking cops? And here's a picture of the injury sustained to the wrist and neck of one of the victims. White dude. See you later. Defendant Wright barricaded the studio door with his body to prevent the victims from escaping. This guy just gets out of prison for a gun case. I don't know if he was in the right jurisdiction or not, but you're going to a meeting with them. You know where you meet? You meet them at an IHOP. You don't meet them in a private studio. You meet them in a public place. Court records reflect that Lontrell Williams, a.k.a. the Shiesty of the Pooh variety, was on home confinement for a prior firearm conspiracy conviction out of the Southern District of Florida. Part of the terms of his home detention were that he could not commit any other criminal offenses or possess firearms. But it also means you can't leave the state. You have to be home. You have a curfew, my friend. You're grounded. His father, Lontrell Williams Sr., is alleged to have helped plan, execute the federal kidnapping. How does it make it kidnapping? I mean, they don't have to take him anywhere. All you have to do is deprive somebody of their liberty. You have to threaten them, and it has to be against their will. As described in the complaint, within hours of leaving the Dallas studio, the defendants added posts on social media displaying what appeared to be some stolen jewelry depicted in the... You guys should get one of these. Shiesty, if you're out there, you're probably not on bail because you're probably in custody. But you guys should have all been wearing these. Stop yourself snitching. Oh my God, how dumb is this? How dumb are these fuckers? Yeah, I'm flexing. I mean, you're bragging about something you stole, not something you worked for. Screenshot of a video from Roger's social media account depicted a Rolex believed to be stolen in the robbery. Oh my God, how dumb are these guys? Honestly. So he's wearing stolen jewelry. He's posting it online. I had a case where my client and 2 or 3 other guys, I think they carjacked like 4 or 5 cars between 6 and 9 a.m. I mean, they were really busy. If they were that industrious at a regular job, they'd be promoted. The first thing they did was put this shit on Snapchat and flexed on Snapchat. How dumb do you have to be? And you might think, oh, Bruce, you must love dumb people who do these dumb things because it gives you... No, I want a shot at winning a case. Be a little more crafty. It's getting harder and harder to commit crimes. I will give you that. The complaint states some of the evidence. So here's some of the evidence. Electronic monitoring data. Placing Williams at the scene because he wasn't smart enough to cut off his bracelet. How dumb is that? You're wearing a GPS locator. Where were you? I was at home. No, you weren't. Here are the records to prove it. Cell phone records and license plate reader corroborating the coordinated travel of multiple defendants. Oh, wait, here's the other thing. You're driving down the road, I don't care what part of the country you're in, there are readers in the sky that read your license plate. Rental car records confirming Williams Sr. rented a vehicle used by the group. What the fuck is daddy's problem? You're supposed to be a leader and tell these kids not to do this shit. Instead, you're a gangsta. Gangsta. Surveillance footage from the offense location, a nearby office supply store and hotel where several defendants stayed following the offense. Latent fingerprints recovered from the crime scene, matching 2 of the defendants. Social media posts by defendants displaying what appears to be stolen property in the days following the offense. Low key. You know, you commit a crime. Hey, look at me. Remember who was that? Pooh Shiesty, I think, was with a guy, and they went to go buy some weed, and they robbed the guy, and then they shot him, and then they dropped the cash, like $40,000 in cash, and then he's at a club though the night before, showing this cash on Instagram. This is where I coined the term "stop self snitching." And they were able to get the serial numbers off the bills and match it to the cash that was dropped. You're not a good criminal, Pooh. Pooh, come on, man. What are you doing? They were on the Greyhound bus, but here's the thing. This was a Lambo Greyhound. You know, I mean, they were going in style. Give me a fucking break. So, I mean, this is a really serious case for these guys. I just can't believe it, honestly. They're originally charged with an application for a criminal complaint, which means that's enough to hold them. Then they have to have a preliminary hearing. And then if they don't charge them by indictment within 30 days, it gets dismissed. So, probable cause. Overview of the kidnapping. On January 10th at approximately 4:50 p.m., victims... who will be referred to out there at this effort collectively as victims, were kidnapped and robbed at gunpoint at a music studio located on Dallas Parkway in Dallas, Texas. This location is within the Dallas Division of the Northern District of Dallas. At approximately 1 p.m. on January 10th, 2026, the victims flew into Dallas, Texas, alongside RD's head of security and other security officer for a scheduled business meeting between RD and suspect Williams Jr. Williams Jr. is a hip-hop artist known as Pooh Shiesty. God, that's such a nasty name, isn't it? Pooh. That's not like Pooh Bear. It's like Pooh Shiesty. And RD here is Roger Davis, who is also known as Gucci Mane. So they were scheduled to meet with Williams, and Williams was upset at the terms of the contract, and he wished to be released from his contractual obligation. Williams Jr. had asked Gucci Mane to come to Dallas on this date so they could meet about business. At approximately 1:45 p.m., CW, TD, I don't know who those are, and the victims arrived at the scheduled meeting location, a music recording studio located within a larger office building. When CW and DT and the victims entered the building, they realized the recording studio owned by an individual hereinafter referred to as JN was closed. While they waited for the studio to open, the 5 went into the liquor store and purchased liquor and plastic red Solo cups before. Well, that's what I usually do before my meetings. I try to get, I do Jolly Ranchers just before. Williams Jr.'s father, Williams Sr., called Jan multiple times on the day of the meeting. At approximately 2:53 p.m., Jan answered the phone and learned that Williams was attempting to book a recording studio after that afternoon for Williams Jr. and RD to record music. So they opened the studio, and investigators later collected surveillance video captured at another business location. You know, there's surveillance everywhere. Everywhere. There's surveillance. So they catch him coming and going. There's just no question that you were there. And not only that, you have fucking GPS on you. At approximately 3:39 p.m., an employee of the studio arrived to assist with the production. When the employees arrived, Williams Jr. and Williams Sr. were standing at the back door of the office building, engaged in what appeared to be an argument over the phone. The target suspects walked through the lobby area of the office building before going inside. One individual with a dreadlock hairstyle, later identified as Gibson, can be seen in the video exiting the office building and shortly before and returning with a bag slung over his shoulder. Nine individuals entered the studio control room, where inside the victims were watching a football game. CW was positioned in the studio lobby while TD remained in the vehicle. When they arrived, depicted below are the photographs of the studio. Okay, we got that. So the victim overheard Williams talking on his cell phone with a probation or parole officer, stating that his caseworker had given him permission to be out for rec time. From what the victims could hear, Williams was informed that this was not the case, that he needed to return immediately. Williams Jr. agreed. Williams Jr. was wearing an ankle monitor, leading the victims to believe that Williams Jr. was on house arrest. He was on house arrest. RD told Williams Jr. that they could reschedule their studio session, but Williams requested to speak with RD privately in an attached recording room. RD agreed, and then they entered the recording room, and they remained in the control room with 6 other individuals and continued to watch the football game. BP offered to share the liquor they purchased with the target suspects. At least 2 accepted, grabbing the red cups and making a drink. Inside the control room, now this is where the rubber meets the road here, Williams produced contract termination or release paperwork from a bag and told RD to sign. When RD declined, Williams Jr. became agitated and the pair started to argue. MM and BP could see inside the recording room and initially believed that RD and Williams Jr. to be discussing business. But as MM saw the conversation intensifying, he texted CW, who was still in the music studio. You're out on supervised release. They know where you are. As the argument inside the recording room ensued, Williams Jr. instructed Wright to get his bag. Wright complied, leaving the room before returning with a bag. Williams Jr. then pulled what appeared to be a black AKA-style pistol from the bag and pointed it at RD. Now this is felon in possession of a firearm. Okay, if it's a 924C, it's a 5-year mandatory minimum. But if it's used in connection with a crime, it's a 10-year mandatory minimum. And it's actually a consecutive sentence. So whatever your other sentence is, they add 10 years onto it. Unbelievable. So he pulled a pistol from the bag and pointed it at RD, demanding that RD again sign the contractual release paperwork. You know, I'm sure there's fucking video surveillance all over the place. RD complied, signing the paperwork with Williams, while Williams Sr. and Wright stood by. RD was not allowed to leave the recording room while he was held at gunpoint. So that restriction of your freedom of movement is kidnapping. Wright pulled out a cell phone and purportedly to record RD signing the paperwork. Yep, that's me signing. I got a gun to my head. Oh my God. Signing the paperwork while being forced to say that he released Williams from their contract. After the release was signed, Williams Jr. and RD took RD's wedding ring, watch, earrings, and cash. Why would you do that? You didn't get it. I mean, now you're a petty criminal. I mean, I'm sure the shit is worth a little bit, but I mean, what the hell? If you're such a great rapper, can't you afford your own shit? After RD signed the contractual, or maybe it's just to fuck with him, you know, because you're pissed at him. After a sign of disrespect. After RD signed the contractual release paperwork, Williams Jr. provided the paperwork to Williams Sr. and asked him if the paper was good. Well, gee, I think I would get my consigliere, daddy fucking gangsta. Dad, does this look okay? Why don't you bring your mom along too and your little baby sister? Williams Sr. advised that the paperwork needed to be dated. Oh, way to cross your eyes and dot your fucking T's. So Williams Jr. then forced RD to add a date next to the signature. Way to be thorough, you know, just... As R.D. Williams Jr. and Williams Sr. and Wright exited the room, the remaining subjects, Waters, Rogers, Johnson, Glover, McDaniel, and Gibson, produced handguns or AR or AK style pistols and began to demand property from BP and MM. BP was pushed under the couch in the control room while an individual known to BP as CMO Damn Foo and part of Williams Jr.'s crew later identified Rogers, searched his pockets, and stole his wallet. So it's just a good old-fashioned robbery. BP's chain and necklace bearing moniker 1017 were stolen from his neck by another subject known as Glizzy 375, later identified as McDaniel. During the robbery, McDaniel repeatedly threatened to shoot BP for moving, but Williams Jr. instructed McDaniel, not to. Don't shoot him. Don't shoot him. Unbelievable. So he was choked from behind, blah, blah, blah. All right, so that's kind of the crux of what was going on there. So let's look at the actual charges. Look at these guys with cash. I mean, if you just look at some of these pictures, it's like, what the fuck is going on right here? How dumb do you have to be? I mean, apparently one of the bags that they had a air tag in it. Had an air tag in the fucking bag. So all they have to do is track where it went. But I mean, they're flexing online with the jewelry and the property that they stole. You just can't make this shit up. So the charge here is conspiracy to and committed kidnapping in the violation of 18 U.S.C. Section 1201 A and C. Now, this is just an initial charging document, right? They'll get indicted with a full range indictment. And when they get this indictment, they're going to have more charges for sure. They're going to have gun charges for Pooh Shiesty, a 924C or 924 whatever. And because of the way it's used, I believe there's going to be at least a 10-year mandatory minimum consecutive to whatever else. And that's by statute. That's not something the judge can fuck around with. So this is Pooh Shiesty streaming and talking to his PO at the same time. You can't make this up.
Hello?
Yeah, you there?
Trey Williams. Yeah, I'm at the house.
He's telling him not to film this.
All right. You sign me up?
Tommy got motion with that, so appreciate you.
Yeah.
We got rec time.
Just go for it.
Mm-hmm.
On the parking lot. Right, the parking lot. Go make right.
No.
All right.
Smart with that motherfucker, so appreciate it.
You said what? Yes, I am. Yes, I am, ma'am.
Yes, I am, ma'am. No, I can see where you are.
That's where I live at. That's where I live at. Refresh it. That's where I live at. Look. I ain't lying to you. I ain't playing no game.
You can mute the joint right now, too.
I don't want to play like that.
Refresh it. Come on, man. You gonna believe me or your lying eyes? Does he look like he's at home? And they have this video. If you're looking at it, I guarantee you they're looking at it. So let's see what more self-snitching we can get ourselves into.
You know what our agreement was, Zach?
What?
If you tell me I'm lying to you, which you have the right to as my brother.
You don't got no paperwork, Wack. Stop it.
That's what you think, Zach?
Wack.
Okay, you know what you got to do when I send it to you, right? Here it comes. His daddy been a rat since 2009.
Stop it, Wack. Stop it, Wack. Yo, what?
Okay. Hear what I just sent you.
Yo, where does Wack go?
Listen,
This nigga said
that's
daddy
the full
been a rat.
file. I'm going to send you.
Yo, Wack, stop it,
No, I'm
bro.
about to send you where he ratted. Listen, the nigga been a rat since 09. I'm sending you all the work. Pooh Shiesty was 8 or 9 years old, so this is his pop. Live in.
So what he's saying, his dad was a snitch way back in the day, And now I think what he's saying is that Pooh Shiesty's a snitch. What did I say at the outset? I mean, he's sitting there showing everybody's paperwork, how he's looking at all this time, and he was able to plead to a gun case and get 63 months.
Direct. Now, listen, you know the exposures, we sit back because I'm a strong representation when it come to Gucci. That's bro. So I'm gearing up for when these niggas want to start playing. We gonna play back hard. Now I'm sending you right now, as you see, the direct pages of the 5K1 stipulation. This nigga's a motherfucking rat. So now, since you want to tell me I'm lying, go ahead, eh?
Wait, what?
Got it. You no, don't go to study now. You got the full document, and I sent you the 3 pages where the nigga's a rat.
Hey, did you hear that they took off Gucci Mane's wedding band? I thought
Fuck all that. Shout out to Gucci, Team Gucci. Shout out Keisha K.O. for keeping Gucci level-headed. Listen.
So WAC 100 says that Gucci Mane had off-duty police officers as his security, and the entire robbery was captured on surveillance footage. Pooh Shiesty and his co-conspirators are cooked. Story details of development.
Act if you go rob a nigga that got off-duty police as his security and civilians with him, that's on your dumb, stupid ass. Stupid. Dummy. And then what they did is they made a video and said, yeah, if you say something, we're going to release the video. He ain't got to say nothing. Off-duty cop obligation.
Whack, what is this? All right, I got it up on the screen. Memorandum of Plea Agreement. This is from April 15, 2009. This is the father, Lontrell Williams. He's a defendant. So the defendant, Lontrell Williams, through his attorney, knowingly and voluntarily agrees with the United States through the undersigned attorney to plead guilty to 1 count of the numbered indictment.
So let's just see what some of these other talking heads have to say.
Let me understand this, y'all. Please help me. I really need help.
Okay, now who's this guy? Do you know who this guy is? He was in that Young Thug. Yeah, he was in the Young Thug's trial. So if you remember, this guy, I can't remember his name is, like Wilson or something. Or Woody, right? He was in the YSL trial, and he was fucking funny as shit, to be honest with you. So let's see what he has to say about all this. Because a lot of these people are from Memphis.
Pooh Shiesty did all that time in jail, in the feds. He around people that have unbelievable cases where it show how far the feds willing to go. Pooh Shiesty came home, y'all, and made the first day out, they sent him right back to jail. Pride and ego is our main enemy. That's why I call myself Woody versus Woody. I have to fight myself every day to not let these suckers trick me back in jail.
I don't disagree with anything he's saying. Pride, what did he say? Pride and what? Ego. He said pride and ego are our enemy. And I've never heard a more true statement than, I mean, this guy is somebody every young little thug should go and listen to. Because, you know, if you're around people that are dragging you down, what are you doing? And to rob these people for what? You're supposedly on your way up. You got stacks of cash. You can afford your own stuff, can't you?
Not let these suckers trick me away from my kids and take my life. That young nigga came home, bro, and did NBA Youngboy numbers. First song he put out, they said he was gonna flop. That young nigga went to the top. He had all the cars, the lifestyle, everything he dreamed of having. But he didn't change his mindset. Look what the boy did. The boy went and did some stupid shit.
I mean, same as 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine just got out. Remember 6ix9ine? We haven't heard from him in a while. But he just got out. And guess what's going to happen with him? He'll probably do the same fucking shit. How many times has he been in and out of jail? You know, and just for stupid shit. Sexual shit.
Cause him go back to jail. Listen, young man. We our own enemy. The shit stopped when we change our mindset.
I love this. I love what this guy has to say. You know, people say, oh, the white man this and the white man that, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, the system, the systemic blah. No. You went to prison, you got a fucking break, and you decided to put a gun back in your hand and be a thug. And be a fucking rotten thug. Well, you eat what you cook. You know, I mean, you reap what you sow. You sleep in the bed you made. You walk down the road that you just walked on. And if the road that you, how does that go in No Country for Old Men? If the road that led you here led you to this, of what use was the road? You know, I mean...
Man, we ain't gotta fake an image no more. We did what these niggas wish they can do. We ain't gotta keep doing it. That's why I say these niggas play the game till they lose.
If you're a young black male, you know, with all the fucking trials and tribulations that you have against you, you don't need to compound it by being a fucking dumb shit. You can do whatever you want to do. You can be whoever you want to be. You don't have to have the government on your fucking back. There's a way out of it. Listen to this guy. Listen to Woody.
You gotta know when to get out of it, bro. You gotta know when to say, okay, this is it. Because they all love you. They gas you on. And when they fucking putting fucking handcuffs on you, and you come to the realization that this shit is real, now y'all wonder why Woody walk the way he walk and talk the way he talk. Nigga, the feds are real. That cemetery with all them bodies in there is real. This ain't Grand Theft Auto. This ain't no fucking TV show. This our real lives. And y'all wonder why these white people don't want to see us with no money. Because we do stupid shit with it.
I've never heard a more truer statement. Listen, if you're a young, up-and-coming gangsta, don't be. Just be young and up-and-coming. Listen to this guy. He's 100% on the mark.
You had no business doing that. You folks came out here and led by example. God bless the rest of y'all.
Fucking Woody. I like Woody. We should try to get Woody on a podcast. All right, we're going to do one more of these. Let's see what he has to say on Rick Ross.
Say what you think or how you feel about the Guwap Pooh Shiesty situation. I don't like it for either side. You know what I'm talking about? Guwap most definitely didn't deserve that, and I don't want to see this for the little homie Pooh Shiesty, but this is when niggas got to be educated and understand. In business, you got to negotiate, my nigga. You got to negotiate. If you were signed for $100K and now you got 10 M's on the table, it's time to negotiate. This how we do this. Boom, 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 boom. Everybody win. Let's go. That's how I got to go, my nigga.
He makes a good point here. If you make a deal and you're short on it, in other words, you make a quick deal because you think it's going to be whatever. The hardest thing is to turn shit down when you're broke. You know, and all of a sudden you blow up and now all of a sudden there's big money on the table, but you're not reaping the rewards. Well, time to go back to the table. It ain't fair. Can we do something differently? You don't put a gun in somebody's fucking mouth and say, sign this contract.
Go, my nigga. You can't muscle your way out of no shit and no business. It don't go that way.
I mean, look what Prince did. Prince wrote slave on the side of his face. He changed his name to a symbol, and he just was a pain in the record company's ass. But guess what they ultimately wound up doing? They re-signed him later on.
Wait, and I ain't just talking about on the people's side, but on the other side, the blitz gonna come. You can't run from it, homie. That's the way it goes. Negotiate. It's time to educate. I want to see young hustlers from the South win. I want to see it. There was a time I got Gotti and Guwap on the phone together. Us three on the phone, nigga. And it ain't nothing to discuss. It was no disrespect. It was no raised voices. Rose just wanted to plant that seed. And I understand one phone call may not fix all the situations, but you want to plant that seed.
And you may not be able to fix a situation, but you move on. I hate seeing young, promising people fuck themselves over on a regular basis.
When niggas may be able to move forward one day, get some paper one day. The CMG 1017 tour one day, that was Rose mindset. And I wish nothing but my homies the best. When it come to business, let's negotiate. Niggas can't take the streets to the do. Nigga gonna get a...
So that's just a couple of words of advice from those who've been around, you know. Gene Parmesan says, Pooh Shiesty and King Von are perfect examples of why you can't help certain fellas. Gucci signed Pooh Shiesty and helped Pooh Shiesty make millions, only for Shiesty to get locked up for 5 years over bullshit. Then get out, rob and kidnap Gucci, and end up back in the feds. King Von beat a body, and Dirk signed him. Then Von got himself killed over bullshit, and Dirk felt that he had to retaliate, and now Dirk is facing life in prison and has been in a federal jail for over a year and a half. I mean, it's just so dumb. From Zito, the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Ankle monitors, cell phone records, surveillance footage, fingerprints, Greyhound bus tickets, rental car records, posting it on social media. He might as well have called the feds on himself. I like Zito. Let's see. Icy. We got food, beautiful women, and fresh air. Why don't you want to stay out of prison? And just a couple more. Another one from Parmesan. I wouldn't be surprised if Pooh Shiesty thing results in very stiff sentences for those involved, especially Shiesty. Shiesty's going to get fucked here. He's going to get a long prison. It's federal. There were guns involved. They will get a Texas judge. They forced Gucci Mane to sign a contract. Lawyers and judges don't play about contracts. Contract law is like the foundation of law. A law itself is basically a contract between yourself and the state and the country you're in. Pooh Shiesty got a second chance. Judges hate when you throw away a second chance. Yes, they do. Pooh Shiesty was on supervised release. Pooh Shiesty had an ankle monitor on. I'm not saying he'll get 30 years, but if he did, I wouldn't be totally surprised. He will get 30 years for this. He absolutely will. He could probably get 20 years for the underlying crime and then 10 years for the gun. This is from D. Chairman. How do you all expect Gucci Mane not to identify Pooh Shiesty to police after being robbed and forced to sign a contract release papers? He wasn't even the only one who was robbed there. 2 others, including an off-duty cop. His life and business is at risk, but you all expect him to stay silent. You know, this code of silence on the fucking street, I get a little bit of that, and that's probably what Pooh Shiesty was kind of relying upon. The problem is, when you fuck with me, it's not snitching. It's like, fuck you, I'm going to fuck you. You fuck with me, I'm going to fuck with you. And that's really what it comes down to. Being a street fella got to be so ass. Get kidnapped and robbed, and you're supposed to just handle it yourself by throwing your life away, too, or a motherfucker's going to clown you. Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, this is the last one. This is from Buddha. Hi, Buddha. You got to abort mission when you walk in and see a white cameraman, right? I guess you do. Could be somebody on 60 Minutes. So I scratched my head. How short-sighted is this? Get a lawyer involved. You know, try to challenge the contract. If it's not fair, you know, say, look, it's a contract of adhesion. I mean, this just isn't fair. We need to redo this. You don't just put a gun in somebody's mouth and say, sign this. Because number one, that contract isn't legal. Number two, look at all the evidence there is that you did this. You're there. They got you with your ankle monitor. And you're on supervised release, which will be a consecutive sentence too. They say you can take the hoodlum out of the street, but you can't take the street out of the hoodlum. And that's what we have here. You know, if you look at Jay-Z and Rick Ross and, you know, some of the other guys that are big in the business, with the exception of, you know, somebody with a crazy mind like Diddy. I mean, look at fucking Diddy. Hey, let's have 8 guys fuck my wife. You know, I just can't believe some of the crap these people do, honestly. But you want longevity. You know, if you're not making what you're making now, just stay at it and live to fight another day. You don't pull this shit. I just don't even know how to go on about this because it's just so idiotic. And you bring, what, 8 other guys down with you? I mean, they're looking to you for guidance because they want to ride your coattails, you know? And what do? You put them all in harm's way. And you don't think they're going to offer some of those guys to snitch? You know, I mean, they're going to testify. Oh, this is what he did. And all they have to do is twist the screws to him a little bit and they're going to testify. or at least one or two of them are. Anyway, this is just our little reaction to the news that Pooh Shiesty is yet again not at home like he told his PO. The good thing he doesn't have to wear ankle monitoring anymore because they know right where he is. And time to get a bologna sandwich and don't pick up the soap. So we'll see you next time here on Criminally Reacts. Make sure you subscribe. Click on that notification button or the bell, because that lets you know that we're putting up a video. Make sure you go to CLR Bruce Rivers for all your merch needs. Sign up for Patreon. We got some new content coming out there shortly. Just treat everybody good. And if you are a little fella, you're a little guy, like maybe say you're 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, focus on the shit that matters, not the illegal shit that's going to fuck you up down the line. And if anybody's pulling you in that direction, run the other way as best you can and find a mentor, an older gentleman, who's got his shit together. Might be a little boring, but, you need to model yourself after somebody. That's what I did. So we'll see you next time here on Criminally Reacts.
Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. 23-hour lockdown, police is at my